late this morning, but I did remember grab the tape today. So today I am going to. This is the get ready for the day routine where we do the head to toe or what get ready for the day. So you can make your day a little more awake, a little more alive. Thank you for with me. And so the reason I am taking myself up is because we talk a lot about the square, well, this imaginary square that's formed by our hips and our shoulders. I'm doing it straight off. Instead of waiting until we get to the dancing part because at the end we dance. This is dancing chant. That's what we do. And we focus a lot with our turning because we're going to start to. I'm sorry if I might see your comments this morning. I should be in this here. And I want us to start off on the right foot with our. That was fun. Anyway, so with our turns, because this square is going to come a lot into play when we are doing our Latin social dance. But first, let's get our move up to. And let's see, like, are my feet not right there? There we are. A little better, a little better. All right. Here we go. Okay, so let's just start by. It's funny. I don't know. Under something. So as long as you can see me and see my feet, you can see everything here. We're just gonna take a nice sturdy stance. Now, let's start out by placing a square, and you want to feel that is still here. Something's going on here. It's my tripod, the piece came off when I had brought it with me. And okay, that was good. So I put it with me, and then the piece where you put in the phone went missing, so and it fell off. So we want to have a fair bit of alignment, so that your feet are underneath your hips, but you also want to feel sturdy. So that's feeling making you feel a bit like you need a wider stance. You can go ahead and do that. I want you to try and feel this body part of the square, like this is even and your weight is right, everything else evenly distributed. And then take a deep breath. And take a deep breath in. And higher and take a deep breath out. And I want you to also try and feel like you have two halves, like this bottom half where the hips are is planted really solid. It's rock solid. It's magnetized to the earth, and it's got roots growing out from your feet. So it's super sturdy. Because we're going to start in this upper half, and your hips are going to stay in place. They're not going to do anything. We're just going to be doing things with our body. Nice. Shake your hands in. This is right up the top. Okay. And your shoulders go down. And you press them down. I want you to feel resistance here. So you're lifting them up. And it's like something is working against them and you're pushing on it with your shoulders as they go down. That's the feeling you want. I'm actually pushing on my shoulders. So I feel like there's a real resistance. Like you have to something is trying to keep you from putting your shoulders down. So that's what we want in the beginning. Now let's do the other way. Like something is preventing you from bringing them up. And up. And down. So you're gonna kind of basically feeling in your shoulders. Now let's not that out. We're just gonna bend down lightly. Doesn't have to be big. So we're gonna do our shoulder shrugs a few times because later on that will be our shoe. As you know, I like to start things way in advance. So when we get there, we have a little bit more of the feeling. That should be okay. We're gonna do 3 in a row, quick. They're gonna be small. Be really small. 1, 2, 3. Rest and go. 1, 2, 3. Take a rest and 1, 2, 3. Take a rest and 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we are going to lift one up, so this one's going to stay here, and our line is going to go over it. These do not have to be big. This is what we're working on is going to be useful later on. So that's the other shoulder now. From there, I'm going to tilt side from side. So you see that upper line? Going from side to side. Just the upper body. It's a little easier to see. I can't see from here, but I can see that at least the line is moving and going back and forth, one should go forward, one should go back. And you see, this bottom line hasn't moved. We're still trying to keep that straight. That is our base. And what our upper body is going to be doing is going to be kind of removed from what our lower body is doing. Because we're learning now BACHATA, this is totally true for salsa, line, for merengue. It's just going to be keeping its rhythm. It's going to be doing your BACHATA, and whatever it does in your upper body, it's going to be doing different things. So that's when we are working on that. Let's do that. And keeping that a right angle. Fluffing like a chicken flying through the air. And to the side, and arms out, and arms up again, and down, and open, arms together, and down, and up, and up, together, down, and up, and open, together, and so we're going to do a lot more with lifting our elbows up. So do you remember we've done an exercise where making our arms into lymph noodles, and a gigantic fork is going to come along, and it's going to hook your noodle right at the elbow and lift it up. So what you're going to do is have feeling like completely soft, and only your elbows are working. Elbows are lifting your arm up and letting them go because they have no bones and muscles. Just let me feel where that elbow is, and that elbow lifting up your arms. If you have butterflies, because the elbows, we do a lot of elbows in this kind of dance. That's where a lot of our movement comes from. So we want to practice leading a movement with a certain part of our body, because if we lift up something with the hands or with our elbow, it's a very different look, as you see. So this would be hand, this would be elbow. So we want to those patterns. So if you're trying to feel where they are, let's try to bring it back a little bit. Just a little, trying to feel like your rest of it. Let's leave them on our sides. Let's still do the little wiggle thing. Try to do the back and then back. Just like a big fork came along. It's picking your wiggle up. Slides. Let's reach and come back down and dig. Come back down. Other arm. In. Back down. This down. And up. And down. First arm. Let's see. You do right or left first. It's the matter. Second arm. Say right first and second. And I'm going to go up and do butterfly flies. This elbow is going to stay forward as much as you can without turning to the side. And drop into our hand. So the elbows going forward, and then we'll let it drop. And stretch it back. And drop it here. And let it drop. If you remember, this is one for arm movements. The more repetition, the better. So here's warming up by this is the second arm. To your head. And once over and down. Let's do that once more. That's one are you doing? And second arm. Drop to and down. Drop to and down. Just a couple of flaps. Wide movement. And then we're going to go side again with those arms. Arms coming up. And the square is going to, well, it's no longer going to be squared, but we're going to keep it all facing forward. So you see it's not turning. It's not going that way. It's facing forward. It's better to do a little bit less and keep the right direction. And back little. And it's knocking the whole body in. Put it there, guys. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, let's do that again. Okay. I'm try to have. I need different tripods. All right, here we go. Here we go. There we go. So bring that arm up, and I want you to feel like somebody's grabbing your hands and pulling it long and pulling it out from you, but without, see, my square is still staying where it is. It's just my arm. My arms coming up and stretching, and my shoulders, hips are still to the front, and I'm leaning over to the side. If you want to grab onto something to balance, that's fine. And somebody's still grabbing your hand and pulling over from the bottom. Somebody's taking your hand and pulling it wide. So just as gentle as coming from your arm, nothing else. And back. And pulling your arms up. And come back. Friends. It's going to go. And somebody's pulling. And coming back. And now we're just going to take a nice stretch over. And hang on to something as it does. Keep your balance. And you see, we're still trying to. My squares are coming back a little. But I am trying to keep my hips in place. I'm trying not to move them too much. They're going to move a little. Is a little, but we're trying not to tilt them a lot to get that stretch. We're trying to keep our hips pretty much completely on. We're going to the other side, taking that stretch. And coming back. And that would check it out. Okay, so if you have a wall nearby, grab from that wall, square it again, and you're gonna lay your palms on it flat. And again, you're gonna have a nice wide stance here, and you're gonna try to keep this line facing to the wall, and these feet are just gonna scoot a little bit into one direction. Now we're all at different parts of our journey, so maybe you've never done this kind of movement before, so your body doesn't move very much. Do it a little, try and feel that twist in the middle. And once you do it a while, you go a little farther each time. Put your hands on below, shoulders are facing forward, and then we're just get to the other side. Just that. And then the first side, and around. Oh, I see yours. Cute. And middle, and lower on that wall. Tighten up your legs. Feel like getting really strong, and push the ground. Bend your knees, and push the ground away from you. And you're already pushing the ground here. Push. It's a strange feeling, right? Because as you're sinking down, you still feel like you push something away, but that's the feeling one. And then you're pushing again. And pushing to the ground. And pushing away from you. Pushing to the ground. And away from you. Shake. So things like another thing to think about. There's so many body parts you can't think about all of them at the same time when you're doing an exercise. But I want you to, this one also think about your feet being flat on the ground. Whole thing is flat. And just going down that square in place. And pushing into the ground as you go up and down. For this one, I've been holding onto something just so you don't balance this one thing. But you just want to touch it lightly. See, the square is not moving, it's sinking up and down. So shake out. I've got some spine. Put one foot in front of the other. And one leg is going to be straight behind you. So depending on we are in our flexibility journey and maybe closer to you, maybe farther away. I've been doing this for a lot of years, that's why I'm farther away, but I started maybe it's very, very close together. Other leg. Let's stretch out. And we're gonna get together. Stairs as we start to roll down. And you want to feel like you're curling up like a snail. So you want to start by tightening up your abdomen and feel like we do when we do our abs. Like this part here between your rib cage and your belly button, like starting your abdomen is like getting longer, longer, and longer. So you'll start like that. Good stay and then we're gonna relax and swing up down. And when we've reached as far as we can, we stay here and we're gonna come up like a snail, a small snail. So the other way. Or we're a snail. And start and shoulders and try to get your back flat. Try to get your whole back flat. And then it's gonna come up straight. And so we are fine. Like the snail. Down. And straighten our back. And come back up again. And one more. Curling up. Straighten the out. And push it into the ground to help us. And I'm just get my legs a little shake in between. Squeeze it. And stretch my legs. It's time. 16 in a row. Unless you're new, joining here, doing this for the first time. And I'll just start with, say, start with 2, start with 3. Start with 3, and you should come. We're gonna add 1, and get to the 16 that we've been doing, and we usually sit for quite a while on numbers, so and we're gonna be, you can listen to your music if you want, depending on like that brand. And as we straighten up, you want to feel that middle part, maybe that it's getting longer and longer, so that'll help you stand up again. So, next, here we go. And 2, stretching each time, and 3. I do this with my hands because it helps me. And 4, it helps me kind of mentally identify that part in that movement. 6, you can put your hands around us. Just let me feel that line. 7, and 10, and 11, and 12, and 13, 14, and 15, and 16. Shove those lines. First and over, leaning back to relax those muscles that you've been using. So on those days, I usually do our abs 3 times. I'm gonna try and do that today, later not, because this is our core is something that I'm sure you've heard that it's helpful for everything. It really is. I always associate it to dance. So the square here, that's going to help us keep our square. So even if we're changing directions, our core is tightening, and to keep our balance, core is tightening. So that's what we are working on here, working on all kind of different components that will come together. Dance. All right, there, guys. So we're going to start this one too. So think about that, right? What we just finished. And I want the top part of your square to stay put. And I want you to feel this. I want you to feel this turning your hips to the side. Doesn't have to be a lot. I'm exaggerating so you can see it, but We're just going to go like that. And I just want you today, I just want you to feel like that is. Feel like this is cheek, cheek. Bring your hips to the side, cheek. So it's more around here, like you're wrapping your hips around yourself. That's the feeling. So this stays straight, and it's just this longer line. Because eventually, that's going to be part of your hip movement. You're going to be doing a lot of this, not social dance, and we're going to be doing a couple of other hip movements. So let's break it up though, because we still need to get the two of these. So we are going to again, we're going to be up, and we're going to be going over. Like we're going to start 16, hands in, and 15, and 14, and 13, 19, and 12, and 11, and 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, lengthening, 5, leg, 4 was there, the last one. Butterflies, lean back to the side, relax. Relax the arms, stretching back the other way. Turn back. And let's do our knees. Let's shake hands out, and then we're going to do our knee squats. We already did a little one putting onto the wall, but we are, again, you can hold onto the wall, but do not lean forward as you do this. This movement is going to be straight up and down. So there's going to be no leaning in any direction. So you want to see if you were looking here and you're squaring you. This square would just be moving up and down. So you're going to tighten up your legs, nice to your stance, and your knees need to be directed right over your toes, because if there's one thing our knees hate, it's going in the wrong direction. They don't really do that. Well, when people's knees do that, but it's very usual, so it doesn't happen. So you're going to go going right over there, and to come back up, you want that same feeling of, instead of you coming up, that you're pushing the ground away from it. And if you can try and feel it all the way down too, that is really good, because that is going to be your grounding. That also has to do with your balance and the speed at which we can change direction. So let's start moving on that now. I'm going to tighten up our legs, and we're going to push the ground as we go down and look overhead. These are our toes. Now we're going to push the ground away. And we're going to take up our legs. Our knees are going to go over our toes. Push the ground. And legs, knees going over your toes. Push the ground away. Legs, knees going over your toes. And pushing the ground away. Last one. Take your legs. Or start pushing the ground all the way down. Then bigger push to get you back up again. Check that one out. And something by that sturdy wall, and your chair, table, counter, and we're going to remove the square habits. Minus because I'm hoping that is so that we are going to be shifting our square over one leg. But before you do that, I want you to tighten up in the middle and feel like you're getting longer here, and put that square over one leg. So all your weight is up here, so you can move this leg. This leg is supporting you, and I'm hanging onto something, and I'm just gonna resting it on the balls of my feet, but I'm gonna be raising and lowering my heel. So it's right next to me, and I'm just raising and lowering it. And all my weight is up here. So make it free. And then lift it a little bit. Now wiggle around. Keep your square. Try to keep your weight over that leg. That's what you hang on for, but you don't want to lean on it. You want to just touch it lightly. Wiggle. And go back and forth. And then down. And shifting that square. See, it's just I'm sliding and to get to the other side. And raise them up with the other foot. Ankles a little bit. Get our feet moving. Whatever release our feet. Bones, muscles, and all other things. And they carry us through the days. Make sure that they are ready to go. And moving up a little bit. You can also keep it on the floor. It's difficult. I just want your ankle to start moving. Get yourself ready to go. And back. Slide and square over. Now we're back on the first leg. And arch up. And arch down. Go up and down. And I want you to feel like there's something underneath your foot. It's going to be imaginary because it's going to be the air. And you're pushing away from it. And you're pushing away. And you're pushing away. And you're pushing away. Down, slide up to the other side. And then you push away. Foot, push away. And push away. And push away. And there's and well, let's do one last set of 16. Or if you're just starting out here, start with 3 and from there. Okay, so stand up nice and tall and then start. And 1. Remember to lengthen it in that little part each time. And 3 and 4 and 5 and lengthening 6 and 7 and 8 and 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and good job, butterfly. Stop for today. Lay back, stretch yourself. And then forward again, chin your upper back. And I just want you to try to feel, remember we've been trying to just kind of feel where our shoulder blades are. Can we wiggle here a little bit? Just try to feel where they are. And out. Alright, there, guys. So let's get into some weight shifting exercise because remember our square. I should just keep that tip here so I can just put it on. So I'm going to have that square so that your feet are going to be flat on the ground. I want you to feel every part of your foot off the ground, right? So it's not just the usual parts that take our weight. Not just the heel and the balls of your feet or any of that. You're going to press your arch on the ground. You're going to press the tips of your toes and the middle of your toes on the ground, outside, the inside of your foot, all parts of your foot. So it's very flat on the ground, very straight. And take your knees and over your toes. Your splinters can sink down. And now I'm going to push into the ground with one leg. We're going to push, but instead of going out, square. Yes, go there. Is it? Two squares. Now, I need to make sure it's not anything. Important thing is that the square is there. Okay, yes. Square's there. So you're sinking down. And I'm pressing to the ground. The square is going to slide up into one leg. And then I'm going to press into the ground. Instead of up, I'm going to press into the ground. Slide to the other side. And then I'm going to push the ground with this foot to slide it. And slide. Faster. So you can feel your weight shifting from foot to foot. That's what you want. Now later we're going to be doing some hip movements that will make your square kind of dive down a little bit, but for now we're just working on getting that sturdiness, that structural sturdiness that goes with keeping yourself upright. And now we're just going to walk forward, But we're going to do that by shifting up to my leg and forward, keeping that square. And then we're going to shift our weight there, so square straight middle to move that foot. And that foot's on the ground. Let's see, I'm just changing directions. See, I'm going to show that square from there. So here, set it right with that leg. I'm going to pick this one up and put it forward. Shifting my weight onto it. Picking my foot down. Shifting my weight. And that's how I'm walking. So we have begun turns with our thighs in our bachata, so that's why I really wanted to do all this squaring off stuff, because when we start to turn, we're picking up a foot. The other's going to stay a little bit behind, but we're going to try and turn it with us enough so to keep that split. So we're going to be turning like this, and the square doesn't go anywhere, so we're not twisting. We're not doing anything like that, and keeping that square right where it is, and turning a whole square every step. So you may need to, this foot stays in place a little, that's why we've done some exercises, just kind of opening and closing. But if you can turn this a little bit while you're stepping, that's good. We want to keep our steps small. Turn your square, and then, so I take my first step, I'm going to take my second step, still keeping my square squared. So it's like we're walking a little circle that's getting smaller and smaller and smaller until you're turning right underneath your step. Now, what happens a lot is you have the temptation to step backwards. Do not step backwards. Always step forward. So you're not going anywhere here. You're only stepping forward. So there's no risk of losing your balance. Your weight is looking forward. And no steps back. Stop or step if you feel like you're going to step backwards. One step forward, forward, and forward to get around. So we're just taking like 3 steps right in a circle. Some of you may be left turn this. Here's stepping, stepping, stepping to get around. So that first step, though, you want to cover as much territory as possible so you have less work to get around. So you don't want to twist your first leg too much. I know that's what we did in the exercise, but that was really just to open up here. But we want to try and bring this leg a little bit with us so we're not doing anything nasty to our knees. So we want to still keep that square going around, but you want to tighten up your core, and you want to feel like somebody is pushing on the shoulder to get you out. Remember, the square stays square the whole time, don't forget it, and somebody is taking from behind and pushing you to move that square. Make sense, guys? So there. And your whole body is keeping that square in place. Somebody can move and push to take that step. And the wings never come back. You're not stepping back. You're not leaning back. Because if anything, we always want to be forward. Forward for turns, generally for dancing. Leaning back, that puts you at a great risk of losing your balance and having to catch yourself, or just generally, if you get off your balance, you're moving forward, catch yourself much more easily going in that direction. And keeps your core tighter, which is what we want here. So tighten up your core, making sure your square is in place, somebody's coming behind you, and pushing your shoulder. Take that first step. And step in the middle front. So you went a little bit over that. So step. Now this leg is going to come forward, so your square is going to move forward. And last step. That is how you are getting ready. Remember to keep it small, only stepping forward. Alright, so push your shoulder. Step. Step. And step. Weight is forward all the time, always in that position. And step. And step. And step. So let's go left just for practice. I know that is, or the foot that is not your favorite direction. Let's do that the other shoulder side. And step, and step, and step. Back to the beginning. Let's do that. Like once more. Push on the shoulder, and step, and step, and step. And move back to the beginning. You can also think of your hips turning. I find that really often to be helpful, that your bottom line is, oh, turn it around. That's another way to think of it, but I just want to make sure that your whole square is going right with you. Because if one of your square gets too far forward left behind, that's already affecting your balance. And even though in the beginning it may be a little difficult, once you've learned to turn with that square, they'll make it super easy, I promise. We haven't added that to our data routine. So we've been doing the first part of our basic period here. At the end of each live, we always have a breakdown of something new that we're doing. So we have BACHATA for quite a few weeks, I think now, and before that we have merengue. If you're brand new to dancing, that is a stepping dance. So the steps are this. It's just nothing special. It's kind of walking or marching, I would say, because it's a happy dance. You're just marching along, and you did various things and exercises for that to make it fun. And now we're doing BACHATA. So this is the first half of our basic. We're going to start on the left foot. So we've been stepping left together. Keep it small, fireflies. This is all small steps. And tap, left together, left tap. And then we've done our. So we're going to be traveling a little bit, but I still want you to keep it small. We're going stepping, stepping, keep your square stepping. And then let's tap here. So you're stepping, step left together, left, and tap. And you're stepping on the foot you tap. You're stepping right. And you're stepping left. And tap. Now remember not to look down. Also very important, if you look down, you lose your square. So do it one time. Left. And together. Left. And you're already getting into it this way. So you're tapping, looking, and stepping. And you're stepping, keeping your right, keeping your square. And tap. Okay, let's review everything that we've done so far and quick review, and then we'll turn on the music and try that, please. So we've done our basic, which is left together, left tap right, right together, right tap left. Keep your feet, your steps small if I because otherwise you have a lot of distance to cover. And what you want is to keep your square over the leg that's stepping. And we go backwards, but that is just 1, 2, 3, tap and step, 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 tap. Left, step, step, tap and right, step, step, tap. And we just step taps. And once you would like to do some arms, today I'm going to put some other turns, so we're not going to put too many arms. But let's do that one. We did a makeshift where we just from one foot to the other. So this is where a lot of what we do comes into play. So we're pushing off the ground, pushing off the ground, pushing off the ground. But our square is staying squared because we've done some exercises for the hip movements, but we haven't got there yet. Because we're being very careful about technique so that we keep going up and up. You don't plateau. And the basis for that is good technique. Just bouncing foot to foot, pushing off one, catching the other, push, catch, push, catch, push, catch. All right, so fast. Let's put on some music and we will work on our BACHATA. Get ready to turn too. All right. 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 Yeah. Yeah. I do this again. There it is. Since I know that I've been waiting for it for an hour. In my time, I know such a what's it? I'm scared that that's a fire. Los casinos quedaron porque llegaste para tirar y no voy a ninguna música que me quiero a la viniendo de tomarte que vienen yo to be like, good job. There, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry about the camera. I really did a good angle there, so sorry, but next time I'll try to do better. Thank you so much for being here, Fireflies. Thank you for tracking this room together, supporting each other in this journey. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. We're just so happy to see you here in the mornings or whatever. And keep dancing. Squares. This is also helpful for life. We're trying to get a really nice steady basis and just feel better, feel healthier through movement. And for many people, myself included, and maybe for you, it's also a form of self-expression. So it's also kind of appealing. So my third lies. I'll hop on for a very quick intermediate because I took a little more time this one because I wanted to do a little bit of their square and to talk about different life things. I hope to see you very soon. Love you all, Fireflies. I am so happy to see you. Bye bye.